Are you looking to get into action sports photography but don't really know where to start? In the creative industry, you kind of deal with the chicken and egg situation. People want to see that you're capable of doing high quality work, but how do you show your capabilities when you're just starting out? I'm going to break down how I initially got my start within the action sports industry, was able to build up a portfolio and do it all with under 200 followers. Okay, so the best place to start is by building up your portfolio. And the place where I believe that you could start doing that is by working with athletes for free. Okay, but let me quick qualify what I mean by free. That means going out, connecting with athletes, and doing collaborative shoots where both of you benefits. If somebody's coming to you and looking for a photo shoot, then that, in my opinion, is a completely different story. In that case, most times I would say charge for that work, but I know that at the same time, you kind of have to be sensitive and you just have to realistically figure out whether or not you want to charge or if that collaboration is going to benefit you in the future. Okay, so we're going back to the fact that you're just starting out and you don't have much of a portfolio. How do you connect with athletes so that you can start getting shoots under your belt? There are three main ways that I've gone about doing this, but the method that you choose is going to differ depending on the sport that you're shooting. There's making connection by DMs, going to local events, or reaching out to existing contacts. Okay, so if you're going to start off with the method of DMs, which I commonly use the most, I'm going to give you the exact script that I use to reach out to athletes. So first, I generally will kick off every message with a nice greeting. And sometimes I'll mention something that I've seen in their personal life that they shared on their stories just to make things a little bit more relatable and allow us to connect a little sooner. Okay, so for this example, let's say that I'm talking to Joe and Joe rides dirt bikes. This is going to be exactly word for word how I would reach out to Joe. Hey Joe, I hope you've been doing well and you've had a great riding season so far. Next, I'm briefly going to introduce myself. My name is Jacob Wagler. I'm an action sports photographer from Kelowna, BC. And then I'll go into my ask, but that ask doesn't come without providing value to my athlete. I'm reaching out to see if you'd be interested in collaborating on a project together. I think you have a great look for the project that I'm envisioning, and I think we can create some awesome visuals. All the photos, reels, and behind the scenes media will be available for you to use on your social media. And then to close off the message, I like to let them know that I can provide more information if they're interested. If you're interested in shooting together, I'd be happy to provide you with more information regarding my vision and plan. I look forward to chatting more about this. Jacob. I'll generally structure it kind of like it's an email because I feel like it's more professional and it kind of separates me from the rest of the people that are just sending out random DMs. Okay, so the second method is going to local events, tracks, or arenas. This method is definitely going to require you to be more proactive and approach people, which sometimes can be nerve-wracking, but also really effective. If you are going to take photos at a local event or a track or an arena, just make sure to check in with somebody that it's okay that you are taking photos. When you go up and approach somebody looking to do a collaborative shoot, you can go up and say, hey, my name is Jacob Wagler. I'm a local photographer just looking to get into shooting sports, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in collaborating on a shoot sometime. Most times they'll ask what you're looking for or maybe just a little bit more details, so just make sure that you have a good plan laid out before you go and approach somebody. The more information you can provide for them, the less sketchy it's going to feel. Okay, so the last method is reaching out to people that you already know. This is a great way to get your foot in the door and maybe get an introduction to a specific athlete. When you are reaching out to somebody that you already know, it's good just to let them know a little bit more information about what you're exactly looking for and maybe ask if they can make that connection or if you could reference their name when you reach out to them. Okay, so you get a few shoots under your belt and you start working with some athletes. What are your next steps? Your next steps are basically going to be rinse, repeat, and upgrade your talent. The more talented your athletes are, the better your shoots are going to turn out, which means you're going to have a better looking portfolio, which is going to open up opportunities. I know that it can really be intimidating when you reach out to people. I know for myself, when I was just starting out, I was like, who do I reach out to? What do I say? And it's just really hard to figure out exactly how to move forward and how to find these people. And I think I was thinking so big and I was like, okay, how do I find these huge athletes? But I think it's great just to start out with local talent or just trying to find people that you know within your network, because realistically, you don't have to start off going with the biggest bang in the industry. You're still learning, you're still bettering yourself and building up a portfolio. And ultimately, if you worked with those really high class athletes and something just didn't go well or the photos just didn't turn out to the expectation of the athletes, then you could be left in a really tough spot because you're going to have a bad reputation. When you're just starting out, you're kind of in that trial phase, so treat it as that way. Really experiment, get to know your camera, get to know how to work with athletes, how to communicate with them, and just really try and figure out what a good profitable set looks like and how you can take that and work on one more thing every single time you go on a photo shoot, and every single time you level up an athlete or you continue to build your portfolio and just take it to another level, the more confident you're going to feel, and ultimately the more followers you're going to grow. And when you start to have that proof that you can reach out to different athletes with tens of thousands of followers, instead of maybe like 500 followers, then it ultimately is going to be easier to reach out to them because you say, hey, this is what I've done in the past. If you like it, then we can work together. The one thing that I would recommend though is not branching out into a ton of different sports. The only reason why I say that is because when you showcase that you're shooting a bunch of different sports, people are going to get confused about what you do and where your specialty lies. Like for example, if you're really passionate about shooting motorsports, then just showcase that you're shooting a bunch of cars. Or if you're interested in more indoor organized sports, then showcase that. I personally found that the clearer you are with what it is that you shoot, the easier it's going to be for the right people to find you. This is a great place to begin working with athletes and as well building up your portfolio. But if you're looking to grow your photography business, I think you like this video where I talk about how to start a photography business from zero. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.